Redefine.
Let yourself be redefined. Let yourself be redefined.
You got the
power. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Happy to be back. And again, thank you for joining us with tonight's show. Tonight's episode is a different one in the best way. We actually have a very, very special episode. I'm super excited to be back with the two guests tonight. Tonight, I am blessed and fortunate to have Shino Bay on the show and his wonderful, wonderful partner and husband, Ale. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, again, I appreciate you carving out the time. This has been a lot of back and forth in the making. You are probably the busiest person on the planet, the busiest person that I know. I can't thank you enough for carving out time in your schedule to connect with me this evening. Ale, thank you so much for all your help and your work behind the scenes. You went back and forth with, that's my son that was emailing you as my assistant and clearing my schedule and clearing your calendars as well. So again, thank you both.
Of course.
Awesome. So I'm excited to speak with you guys today. I've been out of the game for a little while, so this is our first episode back. Thank everybody for all your messages, the texts, the phone calls, the DMs while I was recovering from my neck surgery. I am back and our first guest back. Again, it couldn't be any better to have these two joining us today. So jumping right into things, I wanted to start things out. I was saying this earlier behind the scenes. The reason why I have both of you on the show tonight, typically everyone sees Shino, and then when you're in person live, we're lucky enough to meet Alejandro as well. But I was very fortunate. My introduction to the world of Shino Bay was by meeting the both of you at the same time. So for me, there is no Shino without Ale. So there was no way I could do tonight's episode without at least asking you to join us as well. If nothing else, to just sit in for support. But the first thing that I wanted to do is just really give our viewing and listening audience an opportunity to get to know the both of you on a more personal level directly from you both. So we've all Googled you, we've all Instagram stalked you and followed you all over social media and learned any and everything we can about you. But I'd love you to give us all just an understanding of who are you and what is your story and how did we get here to this point?
Well, a lot of people know because I've been very open about my life in Panama as a child. I really have a very tough childhood. Anything bad that you can imagine that happens to a child that was raised by his grandmother. My parents had me very young. My mom, she was 17, going to be 18 when she had me. And my dad was also very young, and it was just a crazy night during Carnival. That's why I was born in November. Carnival, you go crazy in February, and then 9 months later, you have a baby. So they were very young, and they were very scared. My father wanted to be a doctor. My mom, she said she still was playing with dolls, and they trying to do everything to get an abortion because they didn't want to tell their parents that she was pregnant. Huge responsibility. And I think one of the attempts, the last thing that they did, they went, according to what my mom said, they went to a place where I got scraped. That's why I don't get anyway, because they scraped half of me. And then she got really sick with hemorrhage, and they had to come clean. And I heard that my grandma chased my dad with the broomstick and telling that nobody's gonna dishonor her daughter and her family, and they needed to get married. And my dad's family were very traditional, and they also said the same thing. He needs to be responsible, marry my mom, and that lasted like a year and a half. My dad got a chance to go to the United States. My mom remarried. In Panama, being very macho country, basically I didn't really exist. My grandma raised me, and she also was a foreigner from Costa Rica. My grandfather was from China, and they had 8 kids, and then they got divorced, or she left her, so she was illegal in a country without papers, so she worked as a prostitute at night. And I used to be very bothered by it. I suffered with imposter syndrome just until maybe 7 years ago, because I always felt less than. One thing is being poor, another thing is being poor and everybody throwing your face what your grandmother did for a living. But I always felt that I was born in the wrong family. I don't know if you've seen this on Instagram, where there's a little baby and he's going like this with the eyes. I think that was me, because I felt like I wasn't born to be poor. I wasn't born to live the life that I was living. And I knew that the only way out was through education. And I wanted to be a doctor. And I want to be a doctor from UCLA. My grandma lives behind a bookstore, so I would collect these journals, and the name of UCLA, but I would say UCLA because I didn't speak English then. Okay. It was in every page. So I wanted to be a doctor from UCLA, and I prepared myself mentally. I tried to learn English, few words, but I really lived a troubled childhood, a very dark one. I was, abused verbally, sexually, since I was 3.5 years of age. I was bullied because I spoke with a different accent in Panama. I was always being androgynous, so obviously people assumed that I was gay, even though that it was something that at that moment, I didn't want to be, I didn't understand. But I finally got out. I was very good in school. My father heard that, I wanted to be a doctor, and I was a good kid, even though I came from Skid Row, like very poor, but I never acted poor. It shows you that you don't need to have money to have class. I was always very classy. My grandma, the first time I said a bad word, she washed my mouth with soap, and I never say a bad word. And that was a reason to get bullied too, because I acted as if I was somebody that had money and I had class, and it was culture. I would get beat up every day of my life. But my dad found out about me, and he told me if I wanted to, right out of high school, go to United States for real. He helped me get a green card. So I came to United States, lived with him, working, odd jobs, everything. And then I went to UCLA for undergrad, and I worked as a male model in between, just doing fashion shows, getting money so I can pay for my school, because nothing or no one ever gave me a penny to be who I am right now. All being loans, hard work, multiple jobs. And I always wanted to be the kind of doctor that helped people physically and emotionally. And it was in medical school when I did my dermatology block in medical school. I said, this is exactly what I was waiting for. This is the exact kind of doctor that can do both, help people physically and emotionally. Why? Because growing up, because of hygiene, I would get 4 uncles, carbuncles, boils on my face, abscesses, and I knew how it made me feel that day. And I knew how it made people feel. Like, I hated the fact that because I was poor, they always sent me to the cafeteria. They always have to announce it on the microphone and say, oh, just bring blah, blah, blah kids. It was all the poor kids. We were all poor, but I was poor and malnourished. And they would send me, and I would get my tin can of plantain or corns, oatmeal. And I hated being there because that was like, everybody can tell that I was very poor. But I would go and I have my boils and my abscesses, and people would look at me with disgust. And they had the right to see me with disgust because I looked disgusting. But it hurt my feelings. And I knew that if I help people that have skin problems, I could help them physically and emotionally, because I got scars physically on my face and emotionally, because nobody wants to look disgusting and ugly. So I grew up with BDD to this day. Like, I don't see myself the way people see me. Alejandro can attest about that. I hear people coming about my looks. I work as a model, but I don't see that. I don't see that. But I know that being a dermatologist and doing what I do now, I can really help people be this best version of themselves and feel good about themselves. And I am able to do that now. I remove insecurities. I prepare them for the next decade. I coach them not only to appear younger or feel younger, but to be young and embody that and do that energy, because youth and beauty have nothing to do, with just your appearances. Appearances help, but we always met a good looking guy or beautiful woman. She opened her mouth and you're like, ugh, they stop being beautiful. So beauty and youth is an energy that you cultivate, you project, and you share. And that is my job. I give all my patients a spiritual facelift. So I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. A lot of people, I get trolls from time to time in social media, and they think that what I do is all about vanity. I go, no, there's something beautiful to have a healthy relationship with vanity, because it keeps you healthy. It makes you thrive, because if you care about your looks, you care about what you eat, you care about how you're gonna age, you're gonna care about what you wear and how you self-talk to yourself when nobody's listening or watching. So my job goes beyond what these hands can do. I truly give my patients the right tools so they can stay young through the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th decade. So that's my story.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Mic drop. That's an episode within of itself. Before we transition out of this, I do want to just go on record and say, you don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk. I've had several interactions with you. When the both of you met me, you guys didn't know me from anywhere. And still to this day, I have minimal impact in your life, in your universe, in your journey, but just about everything that you've shared just now, as far as your beliefs, that is exactly what I've seen of you as a person in real life. That's how you carry yourself. It's how you treat other people. I remember, I don't know if you remember this, Ali, but the very first conversation, Shino, you just mentioned self-talk. The first conversation I ever had with you, I called myself old. And you said, don't do that, because you'll hear that and your body will believe it. And if you tell yourself you're old, your body will believe you're old, and then you will be old. And I thought that was just so profound. So I just want everyone listening to this and watching this to know that these aren't just words. This is true. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, and I've felt it to my core and to my soul. So thank you for sharing what you've shared. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We make spells with our words, you have to watch your P's and your Q's.
Exactly. Ale, so tough act to follow, but I definitely would love to hear your story as well.
Okay, I'm just gonna faster probably. I'm from Colombia. I come from a family of 6. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. I'm the youngest.
The baby.
My parents are still married for 65 years. Thanks God. They're both alive and healthy. They live in Colombia. And I studied industrial engineering. And after 4 years of practicing, I decided to study a master's degree. So my master's degree was at the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. And that's why I came to the United States. And the idea was to graduate from my master's in engineering and then go back to Colombia. When that happened, it was 1999. It was a bad year in Colombia. A lot of convulsion, a lot of terrorists, the guerrilla wanted to take over the government, a lot of kidnapping. So my parents decided, they advised me to try to stay in the US, not go back to Colombia, because afraid of being kidnapped. So I did that. I was lucky to find a job that sponsored me for my green card. Working visa, then the green card. And now, then after that, I became a loan officer for a mortgage company. Then I was a high school teacher. I taught advanced algebra and geometry in high school for sophomores and juniors. That was quite an experience. Then I went to the ICE. I was an ophthalmic technician as well for a few years.
Wow.
And then I became, 6 years ago, I began working with Shino because he started to growing very fast. And rest in peace, Lauren told me it's time for me to start working with Shino and grow together, basically. So that's my story.
Awesome. So that's actually a great segue. We'll actually pause right there. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come right back, and I want to pick up right where we paused at, okay?
Okay.
All right, guys, I want to take a quick second to give a shout out to the home team, and that's D&J Med Boutique, where performance and recovery and longevity are taken seriously. If you're looking to optimize your body and balance wellness and aesthetics in 2026, then here's a heads up that D&J now offers cutting-edge peptide therapies. And yes, we're able to ship nationwide. The peptides will help you to boost muscle strength, growth, and recovery. We also have peptides that help to support body composition and metabolic health. They're used for faster healing and tissue repair. They'll help you tighten your skin, reduce fine lines, and support hair health. Every single protocol is customized, medically guided, and even delivered right to your door, anywhere in the country. So why don't you do this? Visit drippynursejess.com. It's right there below. And you can book your consult and you can learn everything that you need to learn. One more time, guys. That's drippynursejess.com. See you soon. All right. And we are back. So just picking up again, right where we left off, guys, we were just kind of talking a bit about the transition and where you all were both together in life. So I'm curious, Shino, where were you in your aesthetics journey from a professional standpoint when you and Ale got into your relationship?
Well, it's very interesting because I graduated from my residency program, went immediately to work for a group, Waters Edge Dermatology, the LA 15 clinic, but I already was building my clinic before I joined the group. I actually started building my clinic when I was a second-year resident. Wow. And unheard of because I didn't know any better. And sometimes what you don't know, it won't hurt you. So that went about this way. I was supposed to come to Florida, get my education, go back home to LA. I'm from Los Angeles. My family to this day haven't forgiven me for staying here in Florida. So I started the education and I had a different life partner that helped me build the practice together. And he actually was with me all through medical school and to right the point just about when I was going to open the practice. So the way it went, if I stay in Florida, I want to open my practice on Las Olas Boulevard, which is where I am. So one weekend, I'm like, okay, let's go to Las Olas and see where my building or my practice is going to be. And I turn around the corner. We live in West Palm. The practice is in Fort Lauderdale. I saw this building, said, that's my building. Stop. So we stopped. I saw that in this location where I am right now, there was a sign for lease with a phone number. We called. I said, I want to see this space. And the guys came down, they gave me a tour. There was nothing to see, it was just a hole. And he said it was going to be a Wolfgang Puck restaurant. This is a retail space. And then I said, oh yeah, I'm interested. So when he found out through the conversation that I was going to open a dermatology clinic, do both general dermatology and aesthetics, he said, oh no, this is a retail space. It could be a restaurant, a store, it's a storefront place. And besides, this building has a lot of law offices. We don't want people with nasty guts and blood on the elevator. No, 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 no. But I say, so I was disappointed. I looked other places. My heart was for this place. So what I always do, I started meditating, manifesting, visualizing. 6 months later passed. Now I'm a third year resident. It was premature. I had no business trying to look for an office, but I feel like I'm always spiritual guided and things let me know when I need to act or do something. So I'm in the middle of my first half of my third year. I get a phone call. Are you that doctor that was interested in 350 East Las Olas? I go, yeah. He goes, well, if you're still interested, the space is yours. And I'm all, wow, yes, I'm interested. And I hang up. I go, now we need money. I don't have any money. I don't even have a savings account. I only made enough money to pay for my bills, and there was nothing left. So, because I take care of my family in Panama, so I called a friend of mine that was 2 years ahead of me. I go, could you give me your business plan? I'm always afraid to ask people for help. I grew up, I'm a problem solver. I solve people's problems, not my own. I don't lie to us, and that's not a good way to be, because it's very costly when you make this type of mistakes. But he gave it to me, and then at that time also, as a first year resident, I was already a key opinion leader for Shino lasers.
Wow.
One of the number one companies globally on laser. How did that happen? Well, my ex worked for Shino. He always used the same dermatology and plastic surgery to give his lecture. It was the beginning of MedSpat and other people other than dermatologists, plastic surgeons getting into lasers and MedSpat and Brotox. My job was accompany him, put pamphlets on the table, signing people in, and sit on the back and listening to the lecture, which I listened to 100 times. That dermatologist happened to be pregnant. She confirmed the night before. The morning of, she gets sick and she has to be rushed to the hospital. He has a room with 60 people and he's looking like he's gonna have a heart attack. So since I'm a problem solver, I'll tell him, listen, I'm a board certified family practitioner, because I was. I worked as a family practitioner, then I did hospice throughout my residency because I got a non-funded residency spot in dermatology. So they won't pay me a penny, so I have to work nights and weekends. So I go, everybody here is other than a dermatology. You can tell them that I am a board certified family practitioner. You don't have to tell them that I'm an expert or not an expert. You can tell that I am a board certified family practitioner that knows about all these lasers. And it was true because I had them at the house. I treated all my friends and family for free. And so that's how I became a speaker. So I had my friend's business plan as a general dermatology. And when you're a speaker, you always have one slide that says return of investment. If you were to see 3 patients a day with this laser, a week, a month, you can see that the laser pays for itself if you listen, and the rest is profit. So I got his business plan. I grabbed all the return investment from all the slides that I have, put it together, went to a bank. At that time, if you are a resident, graduated from any residency program, you qualify for $250,000, right? No question asked. I put his business plan, I put the return investment, I went to a bank, and I got $1.2 million. That makes me build this place that cost, I'm glad they gave me that, because just the build down was $689,000. And the rest of the money was to buy equipment, furniture, and list all the lasers that I said I was going to have. So I met Alejandro in a time where I was actually in a rocky situation with my ex-life partner. You know, things, we grew apart. I became more spiritual. He became more materialistic. And so we didn't see eye to eye. And So I was already going out of that relationship, and I got a scholarship to go to spend 1 week with Bernie Ackerman. He staged melanoma, and that's like, what a privilege. So I went to New York, did that for 5 days, decided to go out on the weekends with my friends, and went to a club that night, and didn't want to meet anybody because I've been in a relationship for so many years, never been single, and I didn't want to meet anybody. So I was dancing with my eyes closed, so not to make eye contact with anyone, because if I make eye contact with someone and I like them, maybe I hook up, and I didn't go there to hook up. I kept to listen to the music, and I felt his energy coming all around, and then I had to open my eyes, and he smiled, we talked, and the rest is history. So he met me 6 months before I opened, my practice.
Amazing. What a story. I have to tell you, you might be the only man that I've ever been happy to see dancing with my wife. I know what it's like to see you dancing in a club. I've seen the Shino effect. I didn't know that you guys live in West Palm Beach. My phone number to this day, the area code is still 561. I met Jessica.
Mine too.
Yeah, I met Jessica in West Palm. We got married down there. Our kids were born there, and everything. She actually grew up in South Florida, so I knew your practice was in Fort Lauderdale, but I didn't know you were in West Palm. I actually know Las Olas very well. We used to hang out at the Blue Martini down there. Yeah, I've had many a drink there before. So one question while we're still on this topic, I want to ask, Ale, what did you see early in Shino that made you believe in his vision?
Well, first of all, when I met him, I didn't even know that he was a dermatologist. Or, like he said, he didn't have his practice. So, and we actually had a 5 years long distance relationship. So I was not really involved in his, in his life. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So at the beginning, I have always had faith in him, but I didn't know he was gonna grow so much, because I didn't know exactly what was his world in dermatology.
I understand. Now, what has the journey been like for you, Alejandro, taking this ride with him and seeing just the epic rise that he's had in the space?
It's been amazing, because I'm very proud of Shino, what he has accomplished. He is really not only one of the best dermatologists, but I think his humanness, he's the most beautiful human being. His soul is pure. He goes beyond dermatology, beyond his cosmetic dermatologist. He is really a pure soul, and I'm so proud. And we're gonna be almost celebrating 10 years of marriage, of the best blessing in my life.
That's awesome.
About 20 years together.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, man, you guys set the bar high. I'm going to have to think about something cool to say about my wife before she sees this. She's definitely going to punch me and say, you don't say that about me. So with that said, and perfect segue and perfect transition. Okay. So as the two of you know, and as the viewing and listening audience knows, my wife and I, we are relatively new to the aesthetics industry. It's been a couple of years, about 4 years now. She's owned the practice. I've been helping her with that, and she's really going at it full speed ahead. And same as you, Alejandro, I couldn't be any prouder. But I remember, again, the first time that we met you, Shino, this was at Aesthetic Next 6 in Texas. And you came into the all-white party. Everybody was wearing white, and I believe you were wearing silver. And she was just, I mean, it was like Michael Jackson came in. She was just like, oh my gosh, it's Shino. And she said, you just don't understand. Like, he is the god of the industry. You know, we learn so much, and he's the guiding light, and so on and so forth. I'm like, okay, you know, like, you think he's cute, just say he's cute. But so what I wanted to segue and discuss now is, for a lot of those who are like her, relatively new to the space, whether you're brand new or you've been around for a few years, you are definitely the definition of a key opinion leader and a thought leader, right? You are the number one person that newbies, for lack of a better term, look to and kind of look to get that final stamp of approval from, whether it's about products, procedures, on label, off label. We see things on social media. We see the bickering and the back and forth and so on. And we turn to you to guide us and let us know thumbs up or thumbs down. So I'd be curious to pick your brain and just give you an opportunity to speak to people like my wife, Jessica, and where should they be focusing now? What is the future of the industry, and what is your focus? What are some of the things that you are looking to bring to light in 2026 and beyond? And how are you leveraging your platform to do so?
Yeah, so we're moving, and this is a movement that I've been trying to do since 2009, when I was trying to let everybody know the power of sculpture aesthetics to maintain and imitate the architecture of the bone, the facial bones. But again, you need to crawl before you run, and we need to be very proficient using hyaluronic acid fillers, because it always will give you the edge if you become a good artist and you understand anatomy, functional anatomy, as it pertains to injectable fillers. That's the most important thing for anybody that is a beginner. But to understand that that is just for appearances, and fillers are great. They're good for beautification, they're good for enhancements and structural support, but they're not anti-aging. And we know that we moved from just appearances to bioregenerative. But bioregenerative, even for myself, on the last 2.5, close to 3 years now, is also obsolete, because a lot of things that we consider bioregenerative come with a high tag price to pay. So I introduced the concept of orthomolecular science. That's why you see me working in companies like Toscani and promoting and supporting also Prom Italia. There's Filme coming, and they also have polynucleotide macronutrients, polynucleotides, exosomes. And that's why I created Genesis, to create a safe space where scientists can come and educate us and cut through the noise that you see in social media. Why is that important? Because we go and trying to do more treatments that are cell-centric and going beyond appearances, going beyond biostimulation, doing the same bioreactive treatment that we do, but with a different consciousness. And the consciousness is that every cell in your body is a mini you, is a citizen of your body, and they require nutrition, protection, and hydration. And I'm so glad that I'm living in a moment that independent scientists that are doing their own work with different products, like Sophie Bay, the creator of Pavis, like the doctor that created the rapamycin analog, ReQ, which is gonna launch maybe in 35 days. That is a senolytics. Peptides are teaching us a lot about cell health, cell longevity. So it's gonna be easier people to understand what they could understand 2.5 years ago when I tried to start this movement of functional aesthetic medicine, where we are going to do the same treatments with the consciousness that the health and the longevity of our cells matter. Because if the health and the longevity of our cells are put into place where everybody's caring about this, the longevity of results will be there. So in a way to make it simple is this: lasers, microneedling, collagen stimulators, even retin-A. If you're young, if you're 20, 30 years old, this doesn't really apply much. because your cells are young and they can recover and continue performing. I'm gonna be 58 years old this year. My cells are 58 years old. And if I push them to perform and perform without giving the right protection, reduce inflammation, that what now we call inflammaging. It's like if I give you my credit card, Ken, and you go crazy with it and you just buy whatever you want, you know that there's gonna be payback time. You need to pay back everything that you spend. So what is happening? What do we all agree scientifically? That if you force you age 58-year-old fibroblasts to perform without helping them, you're gonna have them crash and burn. And if they crash and burn, they're gonna turn into senescent cells, zombie cells. And when most of your cells are zombie cells and less active productive cells, you are not gonna get longevity of results, and you are gonna see your patient's skin or your own skin aging right in front of your eyes. The example was my neck. My neck, I have lasers, treatments, threads, smooth threads, hyper radius, everything, but my neck continued to show my age. It was aging and aging until I started to do something different. I provide a better extracellular matrix. If you optimize the extracellular matrix and reduce inflammation, your cells are gonna perform better. In fact, scientists did a study. They put an old fibroblast in a young extracellular matrix. Guess what happened? That old fibroblast turned young again. And they did the opposite. They got a young fibroblast from a 20-year-old and put it on an old extracellular matrix, which is the environment, and it got old. So optimizing the extracellular matrix is important. Reducing the low-grade inflammation that is happening in the extracellular matrix is important. Giving the nutrition, the protection, and the hydration for those cells. Using peptides that is going to help them thrive. Using growth factors that is going to help them also thrive and repair. And exosomes to orchestrate everything that I just told you is important. So it's no longer important to do lasers and biocollagen stimulators and microneedle if you are not caring for those fibroblasts. And that is my message that I was trying for the last 2.5 years. But everybody's gonna hear this from everywhere because I met with so many scientists that didn't even know me, they didn't know my agenda, and they're all coming with the same type of information with the data. So my colleagues out there, don't call this pseudoscience because there's a lot of science in everything I'm saying.
Awesome. That's so cool. You said the buzzword, the $1 million word, peptides. That's the term that's getting thrown around. It reminds me of the Atkins diet so many years ago, where everyone thought the Atkins diet was just the miracle way to be skinny, but peptides seem to be a bit more legit.
Yeah, and there's peptides that are legal that you can inject, like GLP-1s and tesamorelin and some others. But you also can do peptides locally, so the cells get them. Because the problem with our gut cells are also when you eat stuff, you're not getting everything that you need. So that's why we need to supplement. So I just want everybody to think about their own fibroblasts and your patient's fibroblasts. So that's why I said the treatments needs to be cell-centric. And guess what? It creates a lot of return on investment that no other company will give you, because when you do these type of things, you will amplify results, and there's an extra charge. But patients are happy to pay because they understand now that there's longevity of results. Because we all go through that after a certain age. When you get close to 60, no matter what you do, you see that you're not responding the same. And why was that? Our cells don't lose the capability to rejuvenate and regenerate. We just lose the messages that tell them to do so. And that's where peptides come from.
Wow. Knowledge bomb. Okay. Let's do this. Before it gets too late, we're going to take another break. And we'll come right back out right back and close this out with our final segment. Before we take a break, you mentioned Tuscany. I want to give a quick shout out to my girl Francesca, who I love and adore over at Tuscany, and her cool ass husband. I owe you some tequila shots the next time I see you. We will be right back, guys. All right, guys, I want to take a quick second to give a shout out to the home team, and that's DNJ Med Boutique, where performance and recovery and longevity are taken seriously. If you're looking to optimize your body and balance wellness and aesthetics in 2026, then here's a heads up that DNJ now offers cutting-edge peptide therapies. And yes, we're able to ship nationwide. The peptides will help you to boost muscle strength, growth, and recovery. We also have peptides that help to support body composition and metabolic health. They're used for faster healing and tissue repair. They'll help you tighten your skin, reduce fine lines, and support hair health. Every single protocol is customized, medically guided, and even delivered right to your door, anywhere in the country. So why don't you do this? Visit drippynursejess.com, it's right there below, and you can book your consult and you can learn everything that you need to learn. One more time, guys, that's drippynursejess.com. See you soon. Alrighty, guys, so we are back, all right? And thank you guys for listening so long, sticking around. Everyone that's still watching and listening, I appreciate you staying with us. Before we want to get out of here, this is actually my favorite part of the show. I love to close it out in this final segment with just some fun stuff. Make sure that our viewers get to see all sides of the both of you. So at the beginning of the conversation, I mentioned that the two of you might be two of the busiest people that I know with the craziest travel schedule that I've ever seen. So I'm just curious, right? Now that I've been on the circuit and my wife and I are traveling more and more with the conferences and the trainings, I always struggle with hitting the 50-pound weight limit on the flights with my luggage. I always overpack. I'm a notorious overpacker. I always end up with about 3 suits that either never make it out of the luggage. If they do, they don't even make it out of the hotel closet, let alone onto my back to be worn. So I'll ask the both of you. Shino, we'll start with you. Are you an overpacker or an underpacker?
I'm an overpacker, but everything I packed, I used.
Okay. That makes sense. So that means you it takes a lot to maintain this. You bring a lot of
There's
pride.
There's a lot of stuff that I don't look like this when I wake up in the morning.
I woke up like this.
I have to do my hair. I have very curly hair. You should have seen me. I just got right done. So I did just the front. I had like 2 minutes to do it. The back is all curly.
All right.
So I used everything. I think the heaviest thing are my shoes. And because I wear suits, I can never use a small luggage because I don't know how to iron. So I prep everything in a way that my clothes doesn't get wrinkled. And sometimes I need a suit for 3 days. And sometimes I need a suit that is to give lectures. And then I need a suit for a gala or something. And you know, the way I dress for galas, they're just like... It's a costume. It's not really a suit. So those are very heavy. I'm very uncomfortable a lot of time, but you know, the show must go on.
The show must go on. Yeah, those costumes do look a bit heavy, but I can definitely see the shoes being the biggest challenge for sure. Ale, how about yourself? Are you an overpacker or underpacker? You seem efficient.
I overpacked with things that I never use, but Shino is, he knows how to pack because he knows what to wear every day. I packed and then I decide at the hotel, okay, I'm gonna wear this tonight or this. So I overpacked. Half of my clothes are never used.
And they don't match. So I have to sometimes pick his outfit because otherwise he look like a piñata. I'm telling you.
Oh man, so Ale, you and I are in the same boat, and I guess that's what happens. The life of a +1, right? Jessica, she's always in tune with the agenda. She knows what to wear and so on.
Exactly.
And I just bring everything and I just figure it out when we get there.
That's what I do.
Yeah, yeah. I do have OCD when it comes to ironing, though. I am anal about ironing. That's really the only thing I care about at the hotel. I don't care about the pool, the bed, the anything. Just what is the quality of their iron and their ironing board? It's a must.
I steam everything. I take a shower, hot water, and I bring the suits to the shower and let the steam. Close the door and let the steam iron, and that's all I do.
That is a good cheat code. That is
relax the wrinkles.
Yeah, that is a good cheat code. Cool. So let me ask the both of you this then, as I'm speaking about my must-have, which is a quality iron. What is your absolute, when it comes to travel or at the hotel, what can you not do without? What is the deal breaker?
In the hotel? Like something
Correct.
that you need to have in the hotel?
As it relates to travel.
Well, no, for me to travel is all about my hair. So I actually have things that, that I have two sets, European version and American version. So I have my Dyson and my GSD double duet blow dryer to make this hair look like this. I mean, you should have seen me like 3 minutes before I came here. I had an afro. My hair is curly, so I just have to...
You have the Superman going on now.
Yeah. So if my hair doesn't look good, I don't feel good. I feel like an imposter. It's not Shino Bay anymore. It's like Wasimoto.
I know the feeling. If I don't have a good shave and a haircut, I won't come out of the house. So I understand that for sure. Ale, what is your must-have travel item? What will you not get on the plane without or not?
A hotel must have a bar. Because Shino takes forever to get ready because of his hair. So I get ready in 5 minutes, and if the hotel needs to have a bar, because I always say to Shino, okay, take your time. I'm gonna wait for you at the bar, having a cosmopolitan. So he has to have a bar.
But teach him how you do your hair. He doesn't have a comb.
This is how I got ready for this.
Yeah, that's he does. He just goes like this. I cannot do that.
We all have our different blessings in life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can say I've definitely hung out at many a hotel bar with the both of you. That is definitely the place to be for sure. Another question, a little spicy, but still fun, a little more business related. Would you say working with your partner is a cheat code or is it a risk? Shino, you've seen both sides.
It could be either way. I think it depends on the persona and the dynamics. I think we've been working a lot, and I think at the beginning, I remember we only have one problem that he's used to me talking to him in a certain way, and then I talked to him as a boss, and then he did something that he kind of wasn't right, and I just spoke to him for a bit, and then I felt like he acted like a little boy that he got reprimanded, and then he gave me the silent treatment, and then I feel terrible. And after that, I learned my lesson. I don't talk to him like that, but I'm sure he don't talk to anybody like that. I was just, stressed out. You could see my nurses and everybody here. I'm a prankster. I'm a joker. I'm always dancing around, joking. So it's not like that. With my ex, I think one thing that broke our relationship was the way I saw him treating like employees or co-workers of mine. I just did not, I didn't see eye to eye, I didn't like how he treated employees, and that really bothered me, and that was the way the relationship got, strained. So, because I'm a very kind person, and I think I treat everybody with love and respect. I don't, just because you clean the office at night, when the cleaning crew comes, I talk to them the same way I will talk to another doctor, to anyone important. Everybody's important to me, and I'm not better than anyone. I'm providing a service. My service is to treat patients and make them feel better about themselves. Her service is that my clinic looks clean for my patients, and we both having a service. I just happen to get more, pay more for what I do. I wish she could get paid the same amount of money I get paid, you know. But yeah, I treat everybody with love and respect.
Cool. Last question for you guys, and then we'll close it out. For you, Shino, specifically, okay, you mentioned that not only the cleaning lady, I wish I made the money that you make as well, right? When you achieved your a new tax bracket, okay, what would you say is the most frivolous purchase that you've made that you look back at now and it's like, oh my gosh, that was just such a new money mistake. I can't believe I bought that.
I'm not like that because I don't even know how much money I make or some, you know, I don't look at things like that. I'm also don't splurge. Like I think I'm happy to have the apartment that I have now, and we right now we're remodeling and. Because it's like from the 1970s. It's on the ocean. It's beautiful, but the inside, because we rented it for a long time. During COVID, the owner, because they said they would never get rid of the apartment, they decided to sell it, and I bought it. But I would look around. I said, this is not my style. It doesn't represent me. It's dated. I need more closet space. So we're putting a lot of money into it. I think that's the one thing that I have spent the most money in my life, to have a nice place to share with my friends and family. The view is so beautiful. I mean, even when we're not there, there's always somebody in my apartment because it's not only for me and Alejandro, it's for all of our friends and family. We tell them we're not gonna be here. You can stay in my apartment and enjoy because that's what we got it for. So I don't feel that was frivolous. But the one thing that I regret that I spent a lot of money, and it wasn't frivolous, but that's the only regret that I have, is that when I wrote my book, Be Useful, in 2014, that was when it was launched.
Yeah.
I wanted the book to be successful, but at that time I was not who I am now. So I got very ambitious. So I asked around, what do I need to do? Somebody told you need to be in social media. That's the only reason I opened social media, because I wanted to promote my book, not because I wanted to be in social media. I'm very private, but now I'm no longer private. But I use it for a good cause. But somebody told me you need to hire a PR. So I asked this lady that worked for Valiant, that time they had called. I go, I need a good PR, and because I want to promote my book. And they go, oh, you could use this company. We use them and they're very good. And it was $300,000 ended up costing me, and that for me was a lot of money for handshakes. I didn't do anything. In fact, when I would go on social media and say, please read my book, people would buy it on Amazon. And everything that they did came to nothing. So it was such a waste of money and time. And I felt so disappointed of myself. But I guess that's the nature of PR companies. They just make an introduction. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to lead to anything. And because I was nobody, it didn't go to anything. So I felt like, gosh, I could have given this money to my mom or buy her an apartment with this money, which I actually did about 5 years ago. I bought my mom the apartment, got it from 4 years ago. I got it out of the ghetto and put in a really nice apartment. But I could have done that years before, in 2014. So I felt stupid. I felt that was frivolous. But that's the only regret that I have with money.
Live and we learn. We live and we learn. Those damn PR people, they get you every time.
I'm not saying that all of them are like that. Maybe that's the way they operate, but I think I should have worked on my career first, have a name for myself, and then go to a PR. I think I will be more marketable for them. So the mistake is on me too, you know. They didn't have nothing to work with other than I wrote a book and I'm a dermatologist that nobody knew who he was.
I understand. Well, it all worked out in the end. Look at you now,
Yep.
right? Awesome. Well, guys, on that note, we will close this episode out. This has been great for me as I'm still in recovery and healing. You guys have definitely helped me and given my soul and my body a little something extra that I definitely needed. So thank you both for joining me tonight, sharing your energy as always. I absolutely cannot wait until the next time that I see you. We'll be in South Florida a few times this year, so I'll make sure to reach out to the both of you, and hopefully we can meet at a bar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
And I'm really glad that I didn't know you were going through this. I'm glad that you are actually recovering great and look good. And likewise, when I met you and your wife, you meet a lot of people in the industry. And from time to time, you meet somebody that's a true giver. And I'm just talking about energy, and you really share your time and your joy and your zest for life. And who you are as a human being with us, and it was reciprocal. So we really enjoy meeting you and your wife and the way you make us feel when you are in our presence. So thank you for that. For the industry, I just want everybody to know out there that this is a community, no matter what other people want to say or do, and collaboration is important over competition. And I like to surround myself with givers, not takers. And you can see them a mile away, the way they talk, the way they behave, what they share, and what they communicate. So I hope that you know that this is a very strong community of like-minded people that do the same for a living. And you need to keep that and protect that. Don't let anyone or anybody tell you otherwise. And find your community, find your voice in the community, and help each other grow. Because whatever I do impact you, and whatever you do, good or bad, impacts my practice too. So let's keep loving each other, learning from each other, sharing with each other, so we move toward better things that are coming. They're excited, but we need to have great responsibility when we do peptides, growth factors, exosomes. And that's why I created Genesis, so we all learn together.
Awesome. Your socials will be on the screen below. If they're not following you, they're making a mistake. But you can find Shino online on all the social media channels. Ale, I love you guys both. Thank you again for making the time.
Thank you. I love you. Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
You guys have a good night. And again, I will see you
too.
soon.
See you soon.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Ciao.